So you want to use the alphabet that I provided on Schoology, kind of lay out how you want your letters to look on a separate piece of paper. It could just be a small little drawing, just to give yourself an idea of how you want it to look before we actually put it into our letters. So the thing about using our block letters here is that any lines that are sideways, we're going to actually have to use the vanishing point. So, because our rule in 2-point perspective is that lines are either vertical or they're going towards a vanishing point. So my lines here in my I and my A and my R, I'm going to have those going diagonally to the vanishing point, so it looks like the letters are getting smaller as they go towards the boxes. So I'm going to start with my I. For my I have, and you guys can use, the letters of your name again, or whatever words you'd like to write. I am going to make sure that I'm using a line going to my vanishing point. And some people say like, oh, it doesn't really look like an I. You can try it however you want. So if you want to make it a little bit more complicated and draw out the top and bottom sections, or if you want to make it look like a lowercase letter, however you want to draw your I, or whatever letters is fine, as long as it looks like the letters. For my art, I'm gonna have my A here. So we're writing out our letters in our boxes. And again, make sure that you're using your vanishing point as a reference so that any of those lines are going to the VP. It's going to help it make it look like each box is getting smaller as it goes into the horizon. So at this point, if you want to make your letters look different, if you don't want box letters, like maybe you want your letters to look more bubbly, or you want to make them more unique, this would be the place that you do that. So for bubble letters, you just curve your edges, and for any other letter, you can curve them out or in, or do whatever you would like to do here. We're going to be erasing any parts of our box that we do not need. So I'm going to erase around my heart here, that part of my T, if you have an I or a J, anything that you don't need. Just make sure your letter is nice and easy to read. And so now we have one side of our lettering going to VP2, but in order to make them look 3D, we have to have the parts of the letter going to the vanishing point 1. So from the top and bottom here, I'm going to draw a line from every corner. So every edge of your letter, you are going to draw a line to VP1, the opposite vanishing point. You'll notice how I did it here with this little I. This section and this section are going towards the vanishing point. So from every corner of your letter, and from the outer edges as well. So in this part, good thing I started with an I because it's kind of a complicated one. You're going to draw all of your lines going to VP1. So here it really starts to look three-dimensional. I have lines going to VP2 and VP1. This one looks like it's going on forever and ever. I'm going to do the same thing with my curved shape. This is a little bit harder because it's like, where's the corner of a curve? A curve has no corner. Just kind of think about, where does that heart end? And you guys will be doing this with your letters, so hopefully it'll be easier for you. Or you can follow along with me and write a sign that says, I love art. Entirely up to you. So there's my heart, looking 3D. On to my next one, and you guys will do the same with your letters. From every edge here. Now the final step, and you guys don't have to do this, so if you're happy with your letters, just call it a day. But if you really want to make them look like freestanding boxes and make them look 3D, you're going to want to do vertical lines in your first one, or you can do it in each one, it's up to you. But if you want to cut this shorter so it doesn't look like it's going on forever, we want to make our lines vertical. Vertical or going to the opposite vanishing point. So in my little section here, I can't draw a vertical line because it would look odd. I'm going to line it up to my opposite vanishing point and crisscross. This is like when we crisscross applesauce to make the bottoms. And now that line is in perspective. I'm going to make another vertical here to parallel my vertical part of my eye, up and down. And here I need to make a parallel. Well, it's not really parallel because it's going to the vanishing point. So at some point they would intersect. At the vanishing point they would intersect. I'm going to align it to my VP2 and draw my line there. And my last vertical line. So that makes it look more like a freestanding box instead of it going all the way to the vanishing point. It's a little bit challenging. It's up to you. You guys do not have to do it that way if you don't want to. So for the next part of our exercise, I'm going to go over some different fills that you can do to make your lettering more interesting.